What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Rob Badgett, your marriage and family therapist and life coach. Serious question. Who does the laundry? Whose responsibility is it to do the laundry? Who cooks? Who takes care of the cars? Who handles the kids? Who manages the bills? Who cuts the grass? Who makes sure the house is running smoothly? These are some of the questions that I get and I have to deal with in therapy, where a lot of couples, they're in a state of conflict around the house, the functionality, the roles and responsibility. And often a partner may feel like they're not getting the level of support that they need, or maybe the other person feels like they don't understand the value and what it is that they contribute. Whatever the dynamics are in a home, the first place is disagreement. It's not going to build what you're trying to get to. So here's a couple things I think we should consider when we're fighting about the role and responsibility. The first thing is this. It's both of your responsibility to create a plan that functions, a plan of functionality in your home, right? It's no one person's responsibility because it's not one person who contributed to whether it succeeds or whether it fails. So the first thing it's important to do is list out all of the tasks that are required to keep the ship floating. Yep, all of the things. I'm talking closets, the cars, the laundry, the kids, the drop-offs, the pickups, all of the stuff that happens on a day-to-day basis, that some things that we don't even realize are our responsibilities until they're neglected and somebody feels overlooked or somebody feels they're exhausted. So list out everything. I recently counseled a couple and they were saying, listen, I don't do house stuff. This is what the guy was saying. That's just not my role. I'm from the old school. I'm more of a traditional man. And his wife's looking at him like, obviously she disagreed. And she's like, well, this woman goes to school full time. This woman works also full time. So where is our world traditionally where I have to work just as hard as you do, but when we come home, it's just my responsibility to make sure things at home are running and working smoothly? And he just looked, and I said something that I think is important. I said, our historical culture ends where the offense begins. If I have an idea of something or I'm used to something, and that something is no longer conducive to the new culture that I'm trying to create, then it doesn't matter because it doesn't hold value. So it's important that we list out all of the things. After we list those things out, the second thing we need to do is create a list of who is responsible for doing what. Who's responsible for doing what? Now, the truth is, there are some things we're just not going to like doing. I don't like getting up every morning and getting up, getting dressed, getting out the door. My toddler, she's ready. She is the wake up. She's the alarm. I used to have an alarm set. Now I have a Kaylani. And she wakes up at the same time every morning. And I'm the first person, Daddy, I'm hungry. Daddy, I'm hungry. Do I always feel like getting up, getting out of the bed and getting her what she needs? No, I don't. But it's still something that needs to happen. So remove like out of the equation. It's just some things you're going to have to do that you just may not like doing. That's just what it is. It's some things are dirty work. I don't find too many people who like, they do exist. Some people like doing laundry. Some people feel like it's therapeutic. They can fold and wash and dry, and it's a nice time. I'm not one of those people. My wife is not one of those people either. We just don't like it, but we still have to do it. She, on the other hand, enjoys cooking, which gets us to number 3. Identify some of the strengths base There are things that your partner may actually be stronger at than you, that they may need to take the lead on. I have a neighbor, young couple. I see the wife mowing the lawn. And I was like, oh, that's the first time I've seen that. And she's not some butch, looking woman. She's feminine physique, and she's married to a man. Somebody just said, oh, well, it's a girly man. No, that's what works for them. She's out there mowing the grass. So there are some things that may not be gender specific. Some things are strength based. I don't take the role and lead chef in the house. That's just not what I'm able to do. My wife, she can breathe on food and suddenly it tastes good. So we know that she is the head chef in our home. Now, does that mean that I can't occasionally jump in and help and support and maybe have a night of cooking? No. But she's the chief operator in that regard. So identify strength base or who's stronger at something. Maybe that's the finances. Someone's better at doing that. You both might be terrible, but somebody might be 1 degree less terrible than the other person. So whatever the case may be, think about that. The next thing, this is a new one. Number 4, set up rewards and prizes. Now you're like, well, that's for kids. No, it isn't. Listen, we as adults who are working adults, parents, the role of father is a beautiful task, a beautiful role that I have, but it is challenging. And sometimes it's exhausting. I wouldn't replace it for anything in the world, but sometimes it can be, overwhelming. So when we set up little incentives and say, hey, listen, if you're able to complete said task, here's your reward for that. Whatever that needs to look like. Maybe the clothes can turn into a little extravagant bonus. Hey, if you're able to get all of those clothes put away and washed, I'll put on that favorite outfit that I know that you like. Now, I'm not the one wearing the outfit. She is, hopefully. But set of rewards. It takes a lot to keep a ship running. So we have to have some incentives. But even the incentives, let's allow grace to abound. Not the last, but the second to last. This is an important one. We discovered this, and we had to confront some of our ideas about the responsibilities of home. And number 5 is this. Don't be afraid to hire help. Yep. We do this in so many other areas of our life. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a dentist. I'm not a professional auto mechanic. So when I need these things done, I go to get them done. You may need to bring in a plumber. You may, if you can afford someone to do your landscaping, then hey, guess what? You're hired. This also goes into house cleaning. You may need to provide a house cleaner in your home. I know. That's like, what? You're lazy. You're lazy. You could clean it up. You probably could, but let's consider the obvious that we are working adults. Or maybe even if you're a stay-at-home parent, that alone is exhausting. So you might say, oh, well, you're home all day. Have you ever stayed home all day with children? And your house somehow looks immaculate? No, it doesn't. If it does, more than likely you're a serial killer. So I highly doubt that. So if you can hire somebody, bring it in. Bring them in. Utilize them. Why? Because number 6, here's the main part. The main question that you need to ask yourself. What is the goal? The goal is oneness. The goal is connection. The goal is for us to have more time together. The goal is intimacy. That's the goal. How do we keep the ship floating so that we can get to our destinations, plural? Because there's going to be multiple stops along the way. That may be a destination that you just need to park in and board, whatever. But how do we get there? In order to get there, we have to work together. So don't get lost in the sauce of pointing the fingers at you didn't, I didn't. The goal is, here's what we need to do. And you have to play your role. Each person has to play their role. You can't just check out. Get rid of your ideas and stereotypes about what you think a woman should do or what a man should do. You have to redefine what is going to work in your home and commit to the teamwork of getting there. Hopefully this helps somebody. Until the next time, y'all have a great one.